Welcome to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown, and today we are joined by Ted Dillard from the Brickyard. How are you doing, sir?
Just great. How about you?
The working from home life is as we all asked for it, and then when we got it, we don't like it. That's the phase I'm in right now.
Yeah, I get to escape into the shop every once in a while and make stuff, so it's fun.
Yeah, at least you get that. We can't even go in the office.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so the Brickyard, how you guys got a lot going on with as far as providing help for emergency centers. But first, before we get into all that, just tell me how's things been, or how's the operations been since the shutdown?
It's been different. we, we're in a lot of ways we're very similar to a school. We have classes and we have people getting together and having events here. So immediately that all got shut down. We've shut down access to members to the space. We gave them a couple of days to get tools out if they wanted to work at home, and also to borrow some of our tools. I've got a couple of guys that needed auto mechanic tools that we had, so they took them home. But we're limiting access almost entirely to everything except for PPE production.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been trying, and we're kind of. I mean, immediately I started wondering and trying to figure out what this meant for us in 6 months.
Mhm.
What it means for us for a year, because we've only been here for a year and we're just we're starting to hit our stride.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's kind of feels like the rug got pulled out.
Yeah. Talk about that for fairly new business like you guys, and you guys just got to that location. Just talk about that, because the when you start getting momentum going, you hope it keeps on going, and then when something like this happens, it seems like it shuts down the momentum, and then you guys there's so much uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you start something like this, we had a business plan, and we had, and we, as business plans go, you don't, nothing really works out the way you expect it to, but, you keep flexible and keep plugging. But we were fortunate to get a couple of grants early on, and then we got a couple of grants that came in the last couple of months, as well as a really generous donation by a local guy. So, um, it was looking real good. So, but I read this great quote that said, "When the wave hits, go deep." You know,
Yeah.
if you try to outrun the wave, you're not going to outrun the wave. If you try to stand against the wave, you're going to get knocked over. But just dive deep and do what you do. And the interesting thing for me is this process of making PPE, I feel like, has answered my own question. It's like,
Yeah.
what is a makerspace going to look like in 6 months? Well, we're making stuff,
Yeah.
and people all over the city started pitching in and helping us make stuff, and that was really exciting.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I got, I don't know most of them well enough to call them this, but I call them my crazy sewing ladies.
Yeah.
They're out there, like, I got about 30 or 40 women out there, mostly women, who are making masks,
Mhm.
and they're just happy to do it and having a great time, and they just literally came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
It was-
When you guys decided to start making the PPE, was that just something you guys saw that this is going to be a need, and you decided, let's do our part to help those that will need these the most, or was it just a spur of the moment idea kind of
No,
deal?
well, I mean, kind of a combination of both, but I mean, you're looking at the news and seeing that people need this stuff. And, my first reaction was to start looking at what people needed and how hard is it to make it, and the first thing was the hand sanitizer. And, you get online for a hand sanitizer recipe, all you need is some isopropyl alcohol and some aloe gel,
Mhm.
and so we tooled up for that right off, and then started looking at masks as well. I mean, the key to this is to be able to put something together that people are going to be able to use, because a lot of the hospitals can't use a hand sewn mask,
Mhm.
but the clinics can, and they can also give them to patients. So, and I've seen this story a little bit in the last couple of weeks where makerspaces have tooled up to put stuff together, and they've done a lot of production, but then they have no place that can use it. So one of the things we did right off the bat is to approach Lynn Community Health and say, you know, if we make this stuff, are you interested in seeing it and trying it out and using it? And we got an immediate positive response out of that. So that got us going. And so, yeah, it was just, I mean, these shields are interesting. So this, can you see this?
Yeah.
So this is a shield. This is 3D printed. This is a page separator from like Staples or something. And so we print these and put them together, but I had heard that a lot of maker spaces were putting a lot of effort into these, and then they couldn't get anybody to use them. So we vetted it pretty well before we put much effort into it, but now we have, you know, everybody wants them. It's great.
How long was the process into making that specific one right there?
You mean developing it,
developing it and making it?
Well, it took a little bit of research, probably about a week, to figure out which shield design would work the best. This one actually uses up quite a lot of material, you can see, and then you have to make an elastic thing to hold it onto your head. So after a couple of weeks of doing that, we found this design online. It's called the Mercy Shield. Much less material. It prints in about an hour as opposed to 3 hours, and it literally just clips on your head, you know. So much more comfortable and much cheaper and much more disposable, which is what, you know, the people who wear them want. They just want to be able to throw them away. So,
yeah.
so
And when you guys, I know you guys had a goal of how much you wanted to make and how much you wanted to send out. Can you tell me about that?
About the goal?
Yeah.
That was just something that kind of snuck up on us. I mean, we you know, I'm a numbers geek anyway, so I keep all these records and everything. But, you know, I started seeing that, I mean, first we delivered 200 masks, and I was just floored that we, you know, were able to get 200 masks out there. But then I was just looking at the numbers as of last week, and I realized we were really close to 2,000 masks, hand-sewn masks, delivered. And so then I tallied up all the PPE we delivered. So we do masks, we do the hand sanitizer. This is cool because we printed up the labels in our letterpress. Our letterpress master printed those and stuck them on the bottles. You know, here's the mask. We also make, this is a portable hand washing station that the Food Project approached us to make for their farms and for their markets. So this takes fresh water. You can foot pump it so you're not touching anything. And that's based on a 3D printed part that we designed and printed. And just uses a little squirter thing. And then these are these little they call them ear savers, and you put the elastic behind your head and hook them on this, and it takes the pressure off your ears, which a lot of these people are wearing these things for 12 hours at a time. So that's very helpful. But out of all of the stuff we've delivered 4,000 pieces of PPE.
Okay. That's really good.
It floored me. I was just, you know, had no idea. You know.
Have you seen an increase in requests?
We've seen a broadening of requests. So initially we went to Lynn Community Health, and they were all excited. And then the Lynn Emergency Operations Center, Tom Hines and Ryan Brown, approached us, and so they were trying to get it out into the smaller areas, like my brother's table and, you know, various shelters and stuff. And I just didn't have access to that. And so, you know, I was delighted to supply them. So then everything started going to them, and that gets, you know, pushed out through, you know, them to all the other places that need it. They actually have sort of started they said that they were keeping their head above water. Last week, I was talking to Ryan, and he said, yeah, we're keeping our head above water, but we wouldn't be without the Brickyard, which made me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was saying, he said that they were able to keep their head above water with the requests, and so that represented a leveling out of their demand. And then this past few days, he's actually told me that there are a couple items they just don't need anymore.
Okay.
They're under control. There are a couple of things happening in town that are opening up for drive-through testing that we're anticipating, there's going to be an increased demand once they open up. So we still are in production, and we're just stockpiling now, which is great.
Yeah, that is a good thing, because we're all uncertain of when all this is gonna end, and even when it does end, there's gonna be businesses that will still be in need of those PPEs. So
Right.
It's a good thing that you guys are making them, and we'll have some in stock when they say this is all over.
Yeah, exactly. And but we're starting to see, Governor Baker's talking about PPE shipments coming in. And I was at a store the other day and saw hand sanitizer on the shelf, which is, hasn't happened for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
So, there is sort of, I feel like in the last week, we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so, it's all good.
Yeah. Now, as far as what else are you guys working on, or what else are you guys doing, moving forward?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's next. And as a result of this exercise, we've actually picked up a couple of new members who are bringing an interesting amount of energy. An interesting perspective and an exciting amount of energy to the space. They're very much oriented towards what we're doing with PPE. And so, we're focusing on, we're talking about sort of focusing on what's called micro manufacturing, or making in place, which is, local companies making stuff for local needs. And one of the reasons we're able to pivot so quickly to making masks and everything that we're making is that we're small and light. We have the technology here. We have laser cutters, 3D printers, the whole deal. And we have talented people who know how to run them. So, the idea of being able to make small batches of stuff, sort of send out the manufacturing processes into the community, like we have our sewing ladies, and then turn it into a product that sells. Then you're starting to build an economy around that, and that's really one of the things that a makerspace is all about, is micro manufacturing and make it in place. So, everybody who's a member here has an angle. They all have a side gig. They're all they all are absolutely passionate about what they're doing, and they want to see if they can make some money with it in some way. So, this has all been very sort of informal and loose. And yeah, we hang out together and talk about ideas, but nobody's really actually sort of pulled it all together into, sort of a structure. And so that's, I think, one of the things that we're looking at doing. I got to talk to the board, I got to get our members on board, see what they want to do, so, but it is kind of a falling back and regrouping,
Yeah, definitely. Now, if anybody wants to help out the Brickyard, donate, or find out any more information, please tell them where to go. Go
to www.thebrickyard.org. And if you want to donate, we'll take anything. But there's a tab on the menu that says donate. That'll take you to a link that gives we have a little wish list there of stuff that we're looking for. We also have a button that'll take you to a PayPal, PayPal thing where you can use your PayPal account, or you can use a debit or credit card there. We also have a fairly active Facebook page, and I think it's Facebook/The Brickyard Collaborative or something like that. But that's where we do a lot of communication to the community. And that's really where a lot of the support of the PPE project came from. These people saw what was going on. We have, Tia Cole is the one who set up the Lynn Mutual Aid Facebook page. And so she was cross-posting stuff to them. We got a lot of attention real fast. So Tia's on our board as well. So everybody knows Tia, right?
Everybody knows Tia. Yeah, we all know Tia.
Yeah.
All right, Ted. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with me. This was appreciated. Continue to do the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. You guys have been watching the Lynn Lowdown. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.